Hello, all you scaredy cats and kittens, and welcome to the Two Scaredy Cats podcast, where we talk about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. We're your hostess with the mostest. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Kara.
So, Kara, it's been a hot minute since I've seen you last or talked to you. So, what did you do? Did you do anything fun or interesting this weekend?
Yeah, I had a convention in Pittsburgh this weekend, Techo.
Oh, okay, nice. And how was that?
It was pretty fun.
That's good.
Normal.
Was it crowded there?
Yeah, it was I think it was like 12,000 attendees, basically. There was baseball games going on, which was kind of cool, so you could watch them from the roof.
Oh, that is kind of neat. Huh.
Like the Pirates games or whatever.
Yeah, cool. Interesting.
That was fun. We'll
see. Oh, a couple weeks ago we met up and we went, it was 2 weeks ago, and we went kayaking in the Little Miami River with, I met up with Kara, Mario, and then we went with some of their friends, and we had a fun time. We were looking for Bigfoot and the Frogman while we were there, since they both hang out in that area. But we did not find them, which is okay. And, but we had fun, and it rained a lot, and we got very wet, and we almost died in a thunderstorm, but hey. It was an adventure, and that's all that matters. Oh, and we did make a video about all that if you're interested. It's on our Instagram account. And, Kara, I finally got to go see Superman.
Oh, yeah.
I know when I met up with you and Mari, you guys had told me that it was really good and I should go see it. So me, Dad, and Sam went and saw it on Sunday. And I have to say, it was very good, but what is up with Green Lantern and his stupid haircut? Oh, my gosh. Like, after seeing Ryan Reynolds as the Green Lantern, and, Ryan Reynolds, in my opinion, is very cute. And then you see this Nathan Fillion is, a decent looking guy. But the haircut they had on him for his character was the dumbest looking haircut ever. He looked like a giant doofus with that page boy haircut that he had.
I know. But it was questionable. To be fair, his character was very goofy. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I know, but
it's probably accurate too for the character, like the comic book
but
character.
It still looked ridiculous. So there was that, and then Crypto. Oh my gosh, Crypto had to have been one of my favorite characters during that movie. He was so cute and crazy energy, just like my dog Fritz. But Fritz does not look that cute. So, and then I liked how Superman in this one, like we skipped past all of the,
yeah, they didn't.
His
there was no origin story. Thank God.
Yeah, which was nice. Yeah, thank goodness, because that would have added on a whole extra hour to the movie, the way everybody likes to tell it. But it was nice that we started out, with him already at the Daily Planet, everything that transpired since him, being at the Daily Planet and stuff. That was kind of nice. I liked that they did that. I also liked the fact that Superman seemed to be more human-like and more humble and, have a lot of humility than in the past ones. Like he realizes he made mistakes, when he was saving people and stuff like that. And I thought that was a nice touch. It was different.
Yeah, it was definitely... I thought it was really funny that Lex Luthor had his monkeys trained to be haters.
Right? I know. And they were the ones that were...
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad spoiler, but it was very funny that he had just like this whole... all these monkeys just posting all these hate comments about Superman.
I have to laugh because have you ever seen the South Park episode with WikiLeaks or whatever his name was? And it was a mouse, and it would post hate comments on everybody's stuff on like Instagram and all that. It was funny.
Yeah.
So that reminded me of the South Park episode about that. It was WikiLeaks. That was his name, but it was so funny.
But yeah, it was just wild that he was a true hater. Like he was like, I hate this man so much that I'm dedicating my life to hating Superman.
Yeah, he dug in pretty hard on that one, as we saw.
Yeah, we're not going to talk
about
spoilers, but the monkey thing had me dead.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. So if you haven't seen Superman yet, we give it 2 thumbs up. You should go check it out. It's really good.
It was really cute and wholesome. I mean, it was kind of depressing, but it was also wholesome.
Yeah, there was some really funny kind of parts and stuff like that.
It was a good James Gunn movie. I like James Gunn movies.
Yeah, he does good movies. I'm not gonna lie.
Because he did the Guardian stuff, too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and it was really cool to see our hometown of Cincinnati representing with the Hall of Justice because,
Yes.
it's based off of we have a place called Union Terminal downtown Cincinnati. And that's where back in the day, all the trains would come through during like World War II and World War One. And they turned it into a museum center. And we have there's an IMAX movie theater there, and there's the Natural History Museum's there, and the Cincinnati History Museum's there. So they used that, which was cool to see. And then they also used the Cleveland Galleria, which I thought was really cool. I hadn't been there in years, but that was at the end when Superman and Lois Lane are like kissing, but you can check that out. And then I thought it was really interesting that the camp in the movie where Lex Luthor had all of his army and
the fake camp thing, remember? Because they look like camp counselors almost, right?
Yeah. And they were all like playing games and all that, but they were army tents, which made it really kind of weird. And yeah, and then they had guns, which was really bizarre. But anyway, the camp where they took Superman and all these, it was like what was it, a slip universe or?
It was some sort of pocket universe.
Pocket universe, yes. So the pocket universe, the entrance to it was at this camp, and that camp actually, Kara and I have been there before. It's one of the beaches up by Cleveland that we stopped at on Lake Erie that we stopped at on our way to
Madison
when we went to the Madison Seminary, actually. So that was kind of cool to see that there. With all that stuff there that wasn't there when, you know what I mean? Like to see it all CGI'd or whatever. I guess they didn't CGI'd. I'm sure they brought all that stuff in. But that was really cool, I thought. Oh, on our way back from the movie, okay? This is so crazy. So this was Sunday that all this went down. We're coming home and we see this couple walking and it's about ready to start raining. You can hear thunder rolling. It's really dark. And I was like, where is that old couple like going? Why are they walking? They weren't walking towards a car or anything. They were walking away from the movie theater. And I'm like, that doesn't look good. So we go and we drive on. And while we're driving, we get a tornado watch. Like there's a tornado in our area, take cover now immediately while we're driving on the side of the road in torrential rain. And it was like really scary. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, please pull over before we end up in the movie Twister, please. So Dad finally pulled over. We waited like maybe 10 minutes and then it had passed and we were able to go on. But that was like really crazy scary on our way home. But I don't know what happened to that couple. Like I was genuinely concerned it was like much older couple, like grandma and grandpa age, like maybe, late 70s, early 80s, just walking after the movie. And Dad's like, well, maybe they just want to walk. And I'm like, but why would you be walking away from everybody? And you know where that area is, correct? Where we went to Greendale, by the way, if that helps you at all, in Indiana. Yeah. There's nothing there. It's a giant field right next to the cinema complex.
That's weird.
There's nothing in front of there. It's like a dentist office, and it was empty because it was a Sunday. And the only other thing available and the way they were walking away from everything, like the restaurants and all that. So I don't know if these poor people like made it somewhere before it started pouring and the tornado warning watch hit or what. But hopefully they're okay. But that was really crazy that happened to us. On our way home from the Superman movie. I was like, where's Superman when you need him? In the middle of this, tornado. But
yep.
Anyway. I didn't tell you this yet. So the other, it was last week before, or 2 weeks ago, I guess, it was last week before Dad left. It was kind of early in the morning and I was laying in bed and I'd been on my phone and I see Dad walk by and go into our closet because I assumed he was getting stuff to pack up to go, or he was getting ready to leave for work, okay? Because he was leaving for camp for a week. And I am not kidding you this. So Dad walks into the closet. Not even a second later, and Dad never walked out of the closet, okay? Not even a second later, Dad walks up the steps and then walks into our room. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you just walked in. I'm like, did you walk into the closet? And he's like, no, I just walked up the steps. I am like, no, you were just in the closet. I just saw you go in there like 1 second ago. And I'm like, you never came out, but then you came up the steps. It was so weird. I don't know what's going on. And that happened a second time too. And a couple weeks prior to that. And it wasn't Dad, it was Sam. I thought Sam had come into our room. And, like to get a shower or something. And again, I was like, okay. And then like But that one didn't freak me out. The dad one freaked me out because I saw him walk into the closet and he never came out, and then he walked up the steps a second later.
Yeah, that's weird. Are you sure you weren't asleep?
So I don't know.
What were you doing?
No, I was wide awake. I told you I was on my phone laying in the bed because it was cool and I didn't want to get up because it was hot.
What time of day was it?
It was in the morning, like maybe 7:38 in the morning. It wasn't like the middle of the night or anything like that.
That's weird.
It
Did you
was
look
really
in the closet,
bizarre.
though, to see if anything was in the closet?
You know, there was nothing in there. That's the thing. I got up and hurried up and ran, and he wasn't in there. And I
know he's not, but
like,
you didn't see if there was something in the closet?
No, nothing. It was so bizarre. I was like so freaked out after that whole incident.
Huh, that's weird.
I was like,
especially after were we talking about doppelgangers recently?
Yes, and I'm like, what's the other word for them? Is it? Yeah, I guess it is doppelganger. But I'm like, damn it. And Dad like left after that. You know, like he went on a stupid trip for a whole week, and I'm like, great. So now I got to sit and worry, you know, about what's going on in the house while you're gone. But yeah, that happened like a week. I meant to tell you that when we met up on our canoe trip. Yeah, but I totally forgot. But yeah, that freaked me. I've never been that freaked out. Like I was just like, I just saw you freaking walk in. I'm like, you didn't just walk in there? And he's like, no. And I was like, what is going on?
That is weird.
That was pretty crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, enough of our silliness. Are you ready to go ahead and get started today?
Yep. Let's lock in.
All right. Yep. Let's walk it in hard. All right. So what are you doing today?
So we're talking about the Andrew Dawson conspiracy that happened.
Okay, I never heard of this.
I know.
So what's it about?
So Andrew Dawson, this was all about stuff he was posting on his TikTok account. This happened, he started posting in 2021, but all the events we're going to talk about started happening in 2022 of April 9th specifically. He posted a video of like, it was kind of like a zoomed in shot of a mountain, specifically the Jasper National Park is what he claimed. And it looked like there was what he claimed to be a giant on top of the mountain, as if like it was just
I've seen videos of that, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, he saw what he thought was a person, and he posted the video. It went viral because you know how TikTok is. They eat that stuff up.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh, and so everyone's like, okay, we want you to go back. We want you to go back. So 2 days later, he returns to the spot after like a lot of the comments were like, we want you to go back and look again, see if it's still there. So he went there, and like before he went there, he was talking to some locals, like asking people like, hey, you see anything weird in the mountains or whatever? And there was like, you know, Bigfoot spottings, because it's that kind of, Bigfoots are everywhere, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So he went to the site, but as he was driving up the site, there was like a specific road. They said, oh, you should check out this road. It's like in a national park or whatever. And so as he's driving up, the road is blocked by a car. And there was like some sort of government agent inside. And they stop him and say, hey, you cannot come here. This is trespassing. This road is currently closed. So he's like,
that's weird.
I know, that is weird. Because it's like the road up to the mountain. Alleged giant was spotted.
The giant was, yeah.
So then he's like, okay, well, he turns around and goes home. He's kind of like, what the heck is weird? So on his drive back, he caught a video of a UFO floating above the mountains. So it was a little odd. So he starts posting a bunch of videos about this and like his visits. He also caught a helicopter flying because it was transporting something. And this was one because he was like, all right, I'm going to go back a third time. Maybe the road won't be blocked anymore and he can maybe try and get up there. Right. So he goes back and he documents all this weird stuff that he's seeing. So he gets back up there, and then there's the agent again on the road. This time he does film the interaction with the person. Basically the guy just tells him.
Well, does he seem weird, the agent, or does he seem normal?
Agent. Basically. Or same individual telling him, like, hey, no, this road is still blocked off or whatever. And then he has to leave.
Huh.
So then he leaves. And that's the last video he posts. And he doesn't post anything for a few days. So everyone's like, what is up? What's going on?
Oh my God, something happened to him. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And he does start posting again. But he says that the reason for his absence is he's being stalked.
Okay. By what? Or
the
him?
Same agent from the road
really
before had been stalking him outside his home, like the same car, which is very bizarre that it would just be in front of his house, unless it was like, I guess, intimidation.
That's a little crazy, right? Yeah,
tactic.
But that's still weird, though.
Yes. And then everyone in the comments is like, you need to be careful because this could be a Men in Black
Exactly,
situation.
that's what I was thinking.
And, like, you probably just don't want to be posting this stuff because, like, a lot of people are seeing it, and even a lot of just unwanted attention regardless, you know?
Yep.
We should be a little more careful. And then he doesn't post again for a little bit, so his followers are all freaking out because another no update.
Right.
But he posts, and it says official statement, and the video is recorded completely different than all of his other videos. And he goes on the video saying he was safe. Like, so the rest of his other videos are kind of like him recording himself, like a selfie kind of video, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how people on TikTok record normally. But this one was
yeah.
It looked like it was like set on a tripod, him on a white background, and he looks really uncomfortable during the whole video. And he like
so they think
around.
He's been kidnapped and he's been forced
it
to
looks
make
like
videos.
He was forced a little bit into making this video.
Okay.
And the video quality does look different than the other videos as well. Like the aspect ratio of the video.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing for 10 days. And then he posted another video, but it's like back in the normal style, but he seems panicked and he claims that there probably won't be any more videos, but none of the videos were faked. Because in the other video, he did say he faked all the videos.
Okay, this is weird.
Do you see how it's getting a little interesting?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
And this is all happening on TikTok too. So you know how crazy.
And we know how that is. Oh, yeah. People are lapping that up.
Oh, yeah. This was like the newest thing. So a day later... Oh, he also, on the one video of him, like, panicked, the description reads, "Too much has happened, and I can't be forced to be silent." And he turns off the videos, or the comments on that video.
Huh.
That's ominous. And then a day later, he posts another video of the mountain video again, of, like, there was some sort of structure on the mountain now. Like, something was built. And people are like, oh, maybe it's military related.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, military installation, I can see that.
So then he kind of goes quiet for a while. And a podcaster had reached out to the guy, being like, "Hey, we'd love to do an interview of you." He didn't hear anything from him for a month. And then randomly he replied and he said that all of his videos were fake and that he wasn't allowed to talk about it. So that's ominous, okay?
Yeah. Again, here we go again with the weird, it's all fake
Obviously,
thing.
there's nothing been posted since that. However, on July 1st, 2022, an obituary for him was posted online.
What? That's nuts.
Do you see why this is a little crazy?
Yeah, this is weird. He's just trying to get attention, it sounds like.
I know. I'm like, I can't really tell her, like, what happened. It does seem like he really did die because he has a remembrance page on Facebook. If you know what I'm talking about, like, people who are dead, instead of, like, having a normal Facebook, if you submit, like, evidence of them actually being dead. So he does have a remembering page, but it was odd the day that the article, like the obituary, was posted, because it was posted the day he died, but it was like at 7. It was posted at 7 a.m. It was kind of wild. They had already had a obituary out that fast, right?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I don't know. There's some weirdness about the death mystery.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But, like, I always think that TikTok stories like that are pretty wild, though. Like, where, like, they're actively
they seem to have, like, a mind of their own.
Kind of, like, a part of it. We kind of did that with the one we were talking about with the shed.
The carpet in the backyard? Oh, the shed. Yeah, the shed one.
The carpet
there was also
crazy.
Didn't we talk about the carpet? Yeah, we talked about the carpet one, too. I remember that one. Yeah, there's been some crazy TikTok things that have, like, blown up. Oh my gosh, before we get to mine, did you see the whole Jumbotron thing at the Coldplay concert with the, that was nuts.
Why would you go to a concert like that, like, publicly?
Right? And, exactly. And then get mad because you're out in freaking public for having an affair. I mean, come on.
Yeah, maybe just be a better cheater, Jesus. Well, maybe it's a good thing that he got caught.
Right, I know. His wife's going to make millions off of him, so there's that at least.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, anyway, that's cool that yours was on TikTok because my story today I actually also found on TikTok.
That's funny.
Yeah, I know. When we do our stories, we always just go pick whatever. We don't tell the other person what we're doing until, like, right before we go on. So it's always funny how sometimes our stories, like, line up with, like, the same topic or whatever, even though we never talk about what we're doing before we get together. So I think it's always funny when we're right in the same within the same area of what's going on. So anyway, mine is about this crazy stories that are coming out of California about the faceless people. Have you heard about this
I have not
at
heard
all?
the faceless people.
Okay, yeah, this is pretty bizarre. And then from there, it just went a little bit like, I don't know, it's crazy where it's going from there. So there's a story that out in California, there are these faceless people. And they're especially happening, or people are seeing them more in this town called Bastow, California, which is this town between Las Vegas and Los Angeles. And it's in the Mojave Desert. Well, if that doesn't tell you right there, anything out in the Mojave Desert, there's weird things that happen out there. That's like Appalachia. The desert's like Appalachia, especially the Mojave. Like weird shit goes on there, and, people don't like to talk about it because it's weird. So anyway, it says there have been lots of people that have seen these faceless figures, and a lot of this is happening in Bastow, California, on this bridge, apparently. Like people will drive by like really late at night and will see these faceless figures on the bridge. So the story that came about from a TikTok follower user that said, usually when people talk about these stories, it's one lone person walking by themselves, okay? And this usually takes place really late at night between 1 and 4 a.m. And the person walking will just randomly stop on the bridge and just stare off into like nowhere. And people will like notice them, because it's very weird that somebody's just randomly walking around, at like 1 or 4 a.m. in the morning, and they just stop. So in the story that I'm going to be talking about, there was this girl. She lives actually in the town of Bastow, and her parents live on this bridge that connects the town, I guess, to the interstate. And but recently this bridge has been rebuilt. But back in the day, her parents lived on one side of the town, and like all the restaurants on that are on the other side, so they always had to take the bridge to get into the main part of town. And she wanted to get Taco Bell. She needed to do a late night Taco Bell run. So she gets up at I guess it was 2 a.m. in the morning, okay, to go get her Taco Bell, and she drives across the bridge. And when she's driving across the bridge after she got her Taco Bell, she noticed a person walking in front of her on the bridge, and she got this really creepy feeling from seeing this person on the bridge. When she passes the person, they're all in red. You can't really see their face at all, they're, because their face is turned away from her because they're facing the road going straight on it. Yeah. And when she passes them, she passes by very slowly because, it's odd for somebody to be out walking, by themselves. And they're dressed all in red. From the top of their head, they're wearing a red beanie all the way down to their shoes, which are red. Everything they have on is red, which is really odd. So she decides she's going to turn around, okay? Because at this point, she's heading back to her house from Taco Bell. So she turns around and crosses the bridge again. But this time when she goes across the bridge, she decides she's going to look really hard at this person to figure out what is going on.
Oh, God.
Well, when she crosses the bridge and looks at this person, she noticed that they have no face. No face whatsoever. There's no eyes, no nose, no mouth, nothing, nada. And, obviously she freaks out because, she's seeing this faceless person. So she hurries up, goes back to McDonald's or Taco Bell, whatever's nearby, and turns back around because she couldn't believe what she saw. She's like, there's no way I saw that. It's late at night. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. That can't be real. So she turns back around and goes past this figure, which is still walking on the bridge, mind you. But the weird thing is when she passed by the second time, okay, going across, the figure turned so that when she drove by, she would see them. And when she drove by them, they were just standing there. They still had no face whatsoever. It was nothing was there. So she ran home, was scared. But she said that that only happened one other time that she witnessed that. But they weren't wearing all red the other time that this happened to her. It was later on in life. She was young. She said she was in her 20s when this happened, time where she saw the person in red. Now, there are lots of other stories from that area and another area. I guess it's 5 or 6 miles down the road. There's another little tiny town that talk about these faceless people. Now, I also came across another story from a TikTok user with a story about what happened to him and his siblings and his mom when they were, they used to, I guess they lived near the desert, okay, their house did, and this is in California. They were playing in the backyard, I guess they had a swing set or whatever, and the desert, I guess, kind of backs up to their property or whatever, you could, see to the desert, and they were back there playing, him and his siblings, and I guess the mom was watching, and they noticed that these two strangers who are faceless start walking behind their house, okay? And the thing that he noticed was that they didn't have any face. But then it gets even weirder. So while they don't have any face, they walk into the desert and they stick their face into the dirt like they're digging with their face. Like they're using their mouth to dig up the dirt out of the desert with their face.
That's weird.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And then they said that, so that, that was really bizarre. And he was like, yeah, he goes, we didn't know what to think of this. And then he said after they were digging in the dirt with their faces, they turned around and they ran. But the way they were running was not human-like. And he said they ran very fast when they ran. Like, it was superhuman running. Like, you know what I mean? Not a normal speed that a normal person would run at. Now, when I was reading about and apparently there are all kinds of stories on TikTok and out there about these faceless people. Like it happens all over California for whatever reason, especially between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, because there's like a 2-hour drive between the two areas, and it's all like the Mojave Desert.
So
somebody else though.
Vegas is in Nevada, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I said it's from California. It's from, I'm sorry, Los Angeles to Las Vegas. That's what I meant to say.
I know.
So
I was just
Nevada and California.
California. I didn't realize it was also in Nevada. Now I see what you're saying.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So Las Vegas is in Nevada, which is right next to California, and Los Angeles is in California. So like there's a really famous stripper road that everybody takes from Vegas to get to Los Angeles. But anyway, so another user on this same thread that I was reading about, came on and posted, it was a guy that was talking about, seeing the weird faceless creature with its head stuck in the dirt, and it was like digging in the dirt with its face. Another user, mentioned that they have heard rumors for years about there are experiments that happen out in the desert on people that are still happening. Like there's all kinds of weird experiments that go on out there. They didn't elaborate. Like people were asking, what are you talking about? Can you explain better? But they didn't elaborate, or at least not that I saw on the thread that I was looking at. So I thought that was interesting that, people also think that there's experiments going out on people out in the desert. So that's a story that I found on TikTok, which I thought was interesting. Oh, and also, there is a place in that little town that I was telling you about, Boston, California. There is a place called Harvey House that is there. And this house is supposedly very, very haunted. Like, people have all kinds of stories about this. So I'm going to have to look this up. And I think that's going to be what I'm doing next time on our podcast, is we're going to go into a deep dive about this place. Because it sounds like the guy that built that house out there, he was like, I want to say he was like a person that had money for trains and stuff, and he basically was tired of there not being anything to eat out in that area, and he made there's a huge restaurant attached to his house that he made for people to come so they could have better meals and stuff, which I thought was really interesting. But they said that there's a lot of haunted activity at this house that he built out there, so I'm gonna have to look that up. I'd never heard of it before, but numerous people mentioned it. So
yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Like I said, I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into that. But yeah, I mean, I've never heard of this faceless thing. I think I would totally freak out if I just saw some faceless thing standing on the bridge. And everybody says whenever they see them, they get this really eerie bad feeling, like they need to hurry up and get out of there, and they shouldn't stop, which is probably a good rational fear to have when you see a faceless thing staring at you.
I agree with that.
But when I heard this story, you know what I kept thinking of? There's a glitch in the Matrix somewhere. You know what I mean? That's immediately what I thought of.
Simulation.
Yeah, I know. So I thought that was interesting.
The simulation theory.
Yeah, I've seen all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I've seen all kinds of stuff about that. South Park even did a huge thing about that. You saw that one with the aliens and how they were. Yeah, I thought that was funny. Yes. But yep, that's all I have for today. Do you have anything else for today?
No, I think we did pretty good. Keep up with the crazy TikTok stuff.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember any of that one. It's I'm normally up with the TikTok drama with the... Oh,
the Dawson one? You don't remember any of that?
I don't think I remember that happening.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard... I mean, I'm not as deep into TikTok as you are,
yeah.
but if you like have ever witnessed like this faceless person thing, please share your story. I'm intrigued by this. I would love to hear your story about the faceless people if you ever traveled out west and you happen to visit that, because apparently this Borsto is like right after you get through the 2-hour drive through the desert, like right before you get into like right when you enter into California. So a lot of people say that, I guess where the location is, that there's a lot of, and I guess because it sits on the San Andreas Fault, they said it gets a lot of energy from there too, and that's why all these strange things happen in that area. That's just what people are speculating is going on there. But it's interesting. So that's all I have this week.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed the podcast today, please be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Two Scaredy Cats Podcast, and don't forget to leave a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show get discovered. And tune in 2 weeks for our next episode. And to all our scaredy cats and kittens out there, remember, curiosity didn't kill these two scaredy cats.